What's up, guys? Welcome to our channel, Honest Hockey Takes. Today, we'll be sharing our list of bounce back candidates.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're each going to give you three players we think had a really bad year last year or the year before or both. And they have the potential to bounce back and be right back to their prime or at least closer to it. All right, first up on my list, I have Tyler Seguin of the Dallas Stars. Now, here's a player that for his prime of his career was always consistently a 70 to 80 point guy. But last year, in a full season of 82 games, he only managed to put up 49 points. The whole Dallas Stars team, minus that first line with Hintz, Robertson, and Pavelski, all seemed to really struggle last year. But I think under a new coach in Pete DeBoer, I think this team is going to score more goals, and I think specifically Tyler Seguin is going to score more goals and really ramp up that point total back into at least the mid-60s. The guy's only 30 years old and still very much in his prime. And I think it will really help now that he's had that extra time to heal from those injuries that were nagging him for the past year and a half. So I really believe this is a good year for Tyler Seguin.
Yeah, that the one is an interesting one. Yeah, he did get a new coach, Pete DeBoer, and we've seen his teams in when he coached the Sharks and when he coached those New Jersey Devil teams and Vegas Golden Knights in the past seasons. He likes a balanced scoring from lines 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I fully expect he's going to utilize Tyler Seguin's offensive potential that he has with
Yeah,
his
both
elite
those
passing.
teams score like a ton of goals.
Exactly, and they can't win with how they won last year with just one line. It's just not. It's just not
No,
happening.
they weren't scoring enough, and they were relying way too much on Ottinger to bail them out.
Yeah, I mean, again, we have that question mark about his injuries and stuff like that. Whether he's fully here, we'll never know that. We won't know that. We will have to see what he puts out on the ice. But yeah, I think Tyler Seguin's a good choice here. I feel like he will have a bounce back to at least a 60-point player.
Yeah, the
right?
60-65, but I mean 49
Yeah.
last year, that'd be pretty good
Yeah,
still.
we gotta remember this kid was drafted second overall.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the thing. Second
Yeah.
overall player. And like I said, he was always near the top of the league in points for those 5-6 years of his prime. So I could see him getting back to not maybe fully to that point, but
Yeah.
closer for sure.
Yeah, if they do get him back, I feel like Dallas is going to be very happy because at least they got someone who can
Well,
actually
that
score.
team will be really good if they can get two scoring lines going.
Exactly. But for my first pillar of the list will be from the Winnipeg Jets, Connor Hellebuyck, which is the goalie. And he had this past season, he had like the highest GAA he's ever had, and of almost 3.00. He had 2.97 to be precise, which is which is a little high. And even when you watch the team play last year, the team in front of him played terribly. Wheeler had terrible seasons. Everyone had Scheifele had a down year for half the season. But Connor Hellebuyck, when you watch him play, he was just getting out every time he was in net. He was just letting him weak goals every time. And then the backup will have to come in, and the backup played better than him, which is unacceptable. I fully think that this past season should motivate him to be better this season. I feel like this new coach just wants to play a little bit more of defensive style. I feel like there's more stability with a new coach to start the season now, because last year they had Paul Maurice to start the season, and
Yeah.
he kind of left, and then they had some other coach that I'm not sure about. That's why I have Colin Hellebuyck on this list.
No, I like it. I can't really see him doing any worse than he has like the past year and a half. The guy has been a Vezina winner. He's been right in the conversation before for multiple years, and he's just been so dominant before the last like year and a half, 2 years, that I can't see him being like permanently fried this young in his career. And I really think that not having to worry about like the team just being like really loosey goosey, like this poor guy got shelled so much last year. I think he had the most shots against of any goalie
Yeah,
last
he
year.
did.
I'm 99% sure
Yeah.
on that. And it was kind of ridiculous. So I have to think that with the new coach and the style change, that they're going to find a way to at least make him not as busy and basically not give the quality of shots that they were giving up to. Because that poor guy, it was like they had no defense and their forwards weren't back checking, and it was just a brutal situation for him. So for his sake, I really hope that this year goes better from that defensive perspective.
Yeah.
Number 2 on my list, I got the $9 million newly minted man, Matt Barzal. Recently just signed to a $9.15 million contract for 8 years with the Islanders, which, I mean, you could say if that's too much or not, but let's be honest, even if it is steep, that's still their best player right now. So we got to let them just live with that for now. I mean, they need some youth because that team's old as heck. So I have Matt Barzal because this season he recently just put up 59 points. And the guy played mostly a full season with just a couple games missing in between. Like, I think he had 73 games played. But he is a player who at one point was an 86-point player in his rookie year. And after that, he had a couple pretty close to point per game seasons as well. So I can't see him putting up less than 60 points again. It's kind of crazy to think that an NHL team, their leading point getter can be 59 points, like the Islanders were. And I think now that Barry Trotz is gone and they have a new system that they're most likely going to be playing under, he's going to be let loose a lot more. And he's going to be more free to go out and score and set people up. I mean, he's mainly a playmaker, so probably shoot for like 20 goals, 50, 55 assists, 70, 75 points. And I think that's more what we expect to see from a guy like Matt Barzal.
Yeah, Mark Barzal is going to bounce back. There's no question about that. We said that in one of our previous videos here. What do you think of that contract, though? Honestly.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I know it sounds high, but here's my logic on this. I think when you're paying contracts recently, like you're giving Rob Thomas the 8x8, you're giving Kyrou the 8x8, you really got to give Barzal a little bit more than that, because you can't just say that Matt Barzal, the team's best player over the last 5 seasons, is going to, in his prime, get less money than Kyrou and Thomas. So I think based on the perspective of the hockey market right now with contracts, I think the contract's actually fine.
Yeah, I mean, I was around Twitter today. There's tons of comments about people who are like, "Oh, you're overpaying Barzal. Barzal didn't do anything." Blah blah.
It sounds like a lot,
but you have to understand too. I'd rather pay Barzal $9 million at 8 years than paying how much was JT? Did JT get 10 million?
Yeah, and they were even talking about potentially paying Kadri that $9 million cost at first when the Islanders were out getting him. So I mean, I'd rather have Barzal at his age than go pay Kadri a free agent $9 million anyway. It's not even close to me, but
yeah. To add on about Barzal, yes, he's gonna play a lot more free. He's gonna be more more freedom. He's gonna play more offensively in this team under this new coach because Barry Trotz isn't there anymore. I feel like the team's gonna give up more chances, unfortunately, but that's not on Barzal. I think Barzal as a player, his production should come up a little bit quite significantly from last year, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure he's breaking 70 points this year, unless he gets hurt or something.
Yeah, and he knows he had a so-so year last year, so I fully expect him to bounce back this season. Which leads me to my second player. That would be Jack Eichel from the Vegas Golden Knights. Boy, did this guy have a bad... Like, personally, I thought he had a really bad season last year. I know he was just coming back from that injury there. But I think a lot of people expected a lot more than 25 points in 34 games played last year. Like that, I fully expected this player to be at least a point per game or a little bit above a point per game this upcoming season, especially being the number one core center on this team. He's going to be the main driver of this team. The team will be playing around him. The team's success is based on how he performs this year. So it's going to be very crucial for Eichel to really bounce back this season.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really, really good pick. Jack Eichel is still a fantastic player, guys. It feels like everyone and their dog wants to go cancel this guy and say, oh, he's overrated, he's not that good. The guy just came back from a major back surgery that no one had dealt with in ever. They had never tried this. He was the first one to try the surgery. And now he's coming back on a good team that was a consistent playoff team, and he's going to have a winger like Mark Stone on his line. I really can't see how this guy isn't a point-per-game player next year. He really has no excuse. If he doesn't, that's on him, because he's going to have had all that extra time to recoup and heal up. He's going to have great wingers to play with, whether it's Marchessault or whether it's Stone that he gets, and then maybe even Phil Kessel, which... Sure, that's not like the other two, but I mean, still good quality wingers, way better than he was used to having in Buffalo.
Yo, agreed. And to add on to that, I watched him play when he was playing in those games last year, and he was progressively starting to look better and better every game. So I fully expect him with the whole offseason of reflecting. I feel like he's going to come back stronger to prove all the naysayers wrong.
Yeah, that's like a good extra 5 months to heal up. I'm pretty confident in Jack Eichel's season this year, too. I agree with that pick a lot.
Yeah.
My final one here I got for you guys. I got something different. I got a goalie here after my 2 forwards. I got Mackenzie Blackwood from the New Jersey Devils. Now, I'm sure almost no one actually thinks of Mackenzie Blackwood, and that's because the last 2 years, he's been missing a lot of time with heel injuries. This guy has missed probably about 60 of the games last year and 20 games the year before. But you know what? Now he's coming out in camp and he's saying he's never felt this good. He feels zero pain and he has looked tremendous in this preseason. And after a really bad year last year with a 3.39 goals against and a 900 save, I think he's primed to play with a better defense in front of him and healthy. And I think he can get back to his numbers he put up in his rookie and sophomore seasons, closer to a 2.7 goals against and about a 915 save. So I look forward to seeing this year for him and the Devils and see if they can get that number down for a bit, because their goaltending was atrocious.
You know what's funny? I think Blackwood is an elite goaltender, to be honest with you. Before
he has the potential. He has the potential.
I've seen him like before he went down those injuries. He was insanely good.
Well,
remember that?
915 is nothing to scoff at on the Devils, because back then they didn't have any defense.
Anyone.
And
I
he was
remember.
at 915.
And I was like, why is this guy doing so good?
No, he was good, and he was young. He was young.
Exactly.
Too,
so I feel like he had like 2 seasons of where he technically didn't really play much.
Yeah.
I feel like this year he's gonna have a resurgence here. I feel like this is gonna be a year where he wants to prove everyone wrong, that he is still a good goaltender. And he's going to take that number 1 starter, no questions asked.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he beats Vanacek. As a Caps fan even, I'm pretty sure he beats Vanacek for that starting job.
Vanacek is a good goalie, but he's not like he doesn't have that elite potential that Mackenzie Blackwood has.
He's like a perfect backup goalie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why they got Vitek Vanacek.
Yeah, it gives them some insurance.
Exactly.
But if healthy, Blackwood's going to be the guy, and he's going to be tremendous. I have a great feeling about Blackwood this year.
Yep. And on top of that, I know Jersey is going to score more, especially with the reserve. I feel like this is going to be the breakout year of Jack Hughes. We've been saying that many times.
If they have the puck more, then his numbers shouldn't be as bad as they are either.
I think their defense is better, also with the addition of John Marino.
Yeah.
So
no, their defense on paper is, at least on paper. You never know once the season actually starts, but on paper it looks pretty solid.
Yeah, and they still got almost everyone they had last year. Dougie Hamilton, Siegenthaler, everyone. They're still there.
Graves is there. As you said, you got Marino now. I mean, it's looking actually pretty formidable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't see why I fully expect Blackwood to have a really, really good season, even close to 92, honestly.
If he could get to a .92, oh man, that team would be a playoff team.
I think he can do it. Yeah, but that leads me to my final candidate on this list, and that'll be Brock Boeser from the Vancouver Canucks. I always liked Brock Boeser ever since he came into the league in his rookie season. He has a terrific release, like one of the best shots in the league to me personally. I feel like his wrist shot is so good, and the fact that I feel like we talked about this before, where we feel that Elias Pettersson is gonna have an elite year. He's gonna be there for a ride as well, and he's gonna be the main shooter for Elias Pettersson. Elias Pettersson is gonna be finding him, and he's gonna be trying to shoot that puck. And Boeser had a really poor season last year. He had 46 points, I believe, and it's just unacceptable, and even to his standards. But we understand why, with all his personal reasons with his father and everything. But I feel like with that behind him now he can just focus on hockey. He can just focus on playing for the Vancouver Canucks, and I feel like he's going to be a very, very good player down the stretch here for this upcoming season. So I feel like my expectation for Brock Boeser this season is, say if he plays an 82 game season, I feel like he can hit about 70 points a season.
Yeah, I think 65-70 is fair. Yeah. I think it's good for him because it doesn't really matter who he's playing online with, whether it's Pettersson or whether it's Miller. Either way, he's getting a top-tier talent to play with and someone who can pass the puck and set him up. So I like that, actually, for his goal total. I could see him getting 30 goals. Yeah. It should be very possible, right? Yeah,
last year he just had such a low numbers, 46 points. It's just like, it's 46 points in 71 games played.
That's actually pretty crazy low.
It's very, very low for a player like him.
No, he can be a 60-point plus guy.
Yeah.
Even if he's only a 61, 62, that's still a big upgrade.
Yeah, with the shot that he has, I expect 30 goals from him.
Yeah, that's what I care about more when I'm thinking about Brock Boeser. I'm not thinking about necessarily his point total.
Yeah.
Because there's guys like JT Miller who are meant to like play make and set up these guys. For Boeser, he's just got to get to that 30 goal mark because that's what the team really needs from him. They need a shooter other than Pettersson because if he gets cold, yikes, right? So you need to have someone else there as secondary scoring that can pot some pucks in there.
Yep.
Well, that does it for our video today, guys. Feel free to leave a comment below on who you think will be a breakout player this year. Until then,
we'll see you in the next video. Later.